Welcome to Off Air with Christy Capel. I am here with Mary Flenner. This is something y'all all want to listen to, especially if you have tween girls. So she is the founder of Tween Magazine, a lifestyle magazine for girls ages 8 to 12. She's a local mom of 3 cute girls. She started a new magazine dedicated to an often overlooked segment of our population, which is tweens. Mary, thanks for being on my show.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
This is great. I loved having you on Fox 8 News in the morning as well. And so I said, you have to come on my podcast, and we got to dive a little bit deeper into Tween Magazine, which is really neat because I think you and we're about the same age probably.
Yeah.
And we remember all the, what was it, like
Yes.
the Bop?
Bop, Teen Beat, Y&M,
Yes.
Cosmo Girl, right?
Yes. And we loved it at the time.
Yeah.
And then I think I cut out Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
JTT.
Yes.
Where are you now?
Where
We're
are
all
you?
still searching for you. We're all just settling.
He might be on my door in my bedroom, still at my parents' house.
Yes, it was all about boys. I was so boy obsessed, ripping them all out. Devin Sawa.
Yes.
So yeah, I still remember them. I loved magazines growing up, and then now they don't exist. So,
I know, it's
yeah.
crazy how we're now in the digital world. But
Yeah.
anyway, so she has started this Tween Magazine. It's called. I have a couple copies with me, and I will link them. But it's really cool. And before we kind of get into why she started this, I was like, I don't really know much about you. We need to know how this all started. Now she's like a superstardom, and hopefully we're going to get this in Target. Hello, and everywhere else, because these girls need it. But were you a writer? Have you been a writer? Is that what you went to school for?
Yes, so I've been a writer basically my whole career. I went to Ohio University, studied creative writing there, and I worked in marketing for like 15 years. I started off on the account side, so I've kind of done a lot of different things. I used to work with printers, and then I got into copywriting. So, writing clever headlines, radio scripts, billboards, anything, So I've written blogs, all types of stuff. So basically all types of marketing writing I've done. And so I think that background kind of gave me the vision of how it could come to life, knowing, okay, I've worked with printers, I've done advertising, I write content, I finally saw like, okay, I could see how this could work.
Yes, totally. So then you have 3 girls, and their ages are...
10, 8, and 5.
Oh my gosh, that's fun. So you're busy.
Yes.
So are we in sports, and what are we doing? Are we cheerleading? Are we playing soccer?
We have soccer. We're in a travel soccer league because I don't know if you find this, but I feel like now rec is like not really a thing. Once you're over like 5,
Thank you.
You have to join a travel league, even though like we're not that intense.
Right.
I don't want to be that intense, but if she wants to play soccer, that's like the only choice. So the oldest does that.
We're into that right now. We're on
yeah.
travel.
Yeah.
So I'm like, whoa. But then she really loves dance. I'm like,
It's so hard.
it's so weird. And when we were young, there was no travel and
Yeah.
club and
Yeah.
Manta.
There was
and
like one kid that did travel, and he was like really good and went off to play college sports.
Right.
Like now, like everybody does it. They all get their friends to do it, and I'm like secretly like, I don't know, are we like that good to be?
I think it's a money
Do we
thing.
need to be doing this? So yeah, we do travel
it's
soccer.
fun if they like it. Yep.
But it's also hard because they want to do dance, they want to do all the different things, and you don't want them to be. I don't want them to be so specialized, like have these hopes and dreams, like you're gonna go to college and get a sky. Like I'm just like have
Semi-pro
fun.
athletes, yes.
Yeah, try all the things, see what you like. So we're still kind of in that phase where they've tried, rec softball, basketball, lacrosse, all those things. My middle one is a performer, loves theater, loves the stage, wants to move to New York and be on Broadway, which I think that she will be.
That's amazing.
She's like
Good. She's
the
next
coolest.
on my podcast.
Yeah, she is like such a character. If you see her out on the street, she'll be wearing like a big fur coat. She
Stop,
has
I
this
love
like
her
asymmetrical
already.
haircut. She's like so sassy, just born cool. Like
That's so fun.
yeah. And then the little one is like our little baby. She's 5.
Yeah.
I need to stop babying her. I don't know what her journey will be, but yeah, she's trying all the things too, dance and
Yes.
just happy to be babied and like wants to still be like carried by us. And
That's so cute because I feel like my 4-year-old is the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Because she sees the older ones, which are almost 12 and 8, and she's just like, where's the soccer ball?
Yes.
So we signed her up for the little
Oh, yeah.
soccer thing, and
Yeah, they go one way or the other.
I
That's like
know.
more like our middle. They'll like get me in there. I want to be with the big kids.
Yeah.
So, but that's great.
That's good. Okay. Well, yeah, it's great. We'll see. We'll see. I was playing with her in the yard and I go, okay, pass me the soccer ball. She goes, first I have to push you first. You know how they hook their arm or whatever? Well, she watches my oldest play
Oh, yeah.
travel.
Good
so
for
she
her.
just pushed
Get out
me and
there,
I was
girl.
like, you don't know that's not what we're doing.
Not the full on shove.
Yes, right.
You
We're
got to
gonna
be
need
a
her-
little more discreet.
Yeah, reel that in a little bit. All right, so let's talk about how this magazine kind of started because this is something that kind of came to you because of the magazines we were just talking about at the beginning of the show and all the teen magazines and what was in them. And as a mom now, I'm like, thank you, Mary Flenner, for what you are doing for the rest of us because sometimes our kids don't listen to us all the time, but if they're reading something,
Yes.
right, or hearing it from a coach or another friend, they'll listen.
Yes,
right.
that is one thing I love about it. Right, it's not your mom saying it. It's another place to get advice.
Yeah.
But yeah, looking back, the content. Now magazines have such a bad rap, right, for giving girls bad body images and just show, all of the things. And even today, they still are just so much focused on celebrity gossip, boys, as we were boy crazy.
Right.
And it was all about impressing a crush. And everything was about impressing boys. And it still kind of is. And just how to be beautiful, and makeup routines. And while I don't think there's anything wrong with being into fashion or, my daughter's fur coat and wanting to like embrace your own individual style, I try to have them think about, who you're doing it for. Doing it for yourself, you're not doing it to impress boys or other people. And I just felt like all of the messages, right, were so much making girls grow up so fast. And especially with girls being on phones and social media, I just think girls are growing up faster than ever. Mm-hmm. And this is me trying to like join that kind of anti-digital, anti-social media revolution with people like the anxious Jonathan Haidt, who wrote The Anxious Generation. They are, trying to get us to take that step back, get back to that more traditional childhood, let them be kids. And so I try to stay away from all of those topics about, overly focusing on beauty, boys, crushes, all that. And it's more about girls supporting girls, friendship, being yourself, things like that.
Do you have rules for your girls on social media?
Yeah, so they don't have phones or anything. Yeah. I've been always like very kind of strict and crazy in certain ways.
Me too, and I am proud of it.
Yes. Does Kindle have a phone or anything?
No, she does to call us to come pick her up from dance. Yeah. But it has no access to anything on the internet. Like nothing.
Good. That's great. Yeah, so we don't have anything either. We don't even have tablets. It really only worked for the oldest. I even introduced TV later. The first one you try to do everything right with, and then it falls off with the rest.
And somehow they're the rule followers, and then my last are like whatever.
Yeah, the little one's like watching, all the movies that the other one had to be like 9 to watch, and the baby's
like, I need to see that.
Yeah, they're not afraid of anything. So yeah, I tried to hold off on TV and screens. I just feel like the screens in general are just so addictive. Take social media, it's just out of it. Just the iPads and TV is so addictive for kids, and I just hate that it's always in front of them, when they're out at restaurants or even with friends. Like, I just want to like pull it down and be like, just talk, like have fun, be kids. Like, this is what it's all about.
I know.
And so I've always been very passionate about it, about trying to encourage other parents, and I never wanted to come across as judgy with it, more just like hey, we can all do this. And as they're getting older, I think that's key, is finding parents that are like you, that don't want, none of us want our kids to be addicted to social media, right? But kind of linking arms and being like, if we all do this, they can have this group of friends that they all don't have phones, they're not on TikTok.
You say all friends. I mean, she'll say something and she's like, oh, I saw that on a girl's phone at dance when we had a quick break.
Yeah.
We're really on our quick break pulling up social media on our phones.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, if we can get on the Mary Flenner wave train with these magazines of positivity, maybe that would help. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's crazy how addicted everyone is.
Yeah, and it is like the go-to thing now. Yeah, my daughter was at a birthday party and she's 10. And so, she's the one we're seeing it the most with now, and kind of just figuring it out as we go. But she said like half the kids that were on their phones, and she said they were just sitting on their phones all the time, like it wasn't fun. The one girl was looking at guys and videos,
God, at a birthday party.
Right. And so I was glad though, because she's seen now she's like on the other side. She's like, oh, they were just all addicted to their phones, and they're zombies.
Like,
with
what
my
I'm
brain,
doing is
my subtle
right.
brainwashing. No.
Yeah,
But she realized, and so now her friends kind of think the same. They all don't have phones, and they're like, yeah, they were just on their phones the whole time. It's so boring. So it's nice to see she's not begging me for one. Like she does have kind of, they call them like now dumb phones or smart, like a watch. So she does have that because logistically, as they're getting older, they might be out and need to say, pick me up, or just for that peace of mind as they're like riding their bikes around the neighborhood or dropping them off at that birthday party. If it's a house she hasn't been to, or, I also get kind of paranoid about that. So I like her having...
side note, we don't do sleepovers.
Yeah, we also don't really.
I'm guessing you don't either.
Yeah.
God, we would be good friends.
Yeah. I was very strict, yes.
We can strict mother together. We are soulmates. Okay, good. I'm going to go home and tell my 11-year-old that I'm not crazy. So I have to remind her of that every once in a while.
Yeah. But I literally
for
thought...
your good.
Yeah, I thought that when I started the magazine, I thought, okay, I can be kind of crazy and I have these... passions and thoughts, but I was like, I know there's other moms like me, and there's other moms that would want this magazine, and so I just had to trust that. Like, there's other moms out there,
trust me,
and kids that would like this. So
you are doing a great job. I was reading the rise in anxiety in kids, and even at this tween age that we're talking about, 59% of U.S. teens experience cyberbullying or online harassment, which is scary, and girls that spend 5 or more hours on social media 3 times more likely to be depressed.
Right.
Wild statistics.
Yeah. It's supposed to be bringing us together, but it's just making people feel bad about themselves.
Right.
And
we're not here to be like, don't go on social media if you're of age and you can handle it. And it's sometimes it's good.
Yeah.
For what you need it for.
And there can be positives of bringing people together, but I think it's just waiting till they're an appropriate age. Yes. And especially, more and more experts are saying that these vulnerable preteen years are just so crucial to avoid, if you can, avoid social media and TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah.
Where they're so impressionable, and your confidence, I think I saw another statistic that was like girls' confidence plummets like 40% around age 10 or 12. And any woman and girl knows that those are the hardest years. And I can't even imagine having my life documented on social media at that age and trying to look sexy in dances that are, choreographed, and the pressure of responding to those things and look cool, and it's
crazy,
and get mean comments back.
Yeah.
Like, I can barely deal with them as an adult.
Yeah. Welcome to my world. Right? Like we are old enough to figure out how to delete and forget.
Yeah.
And know like maybe where the source is coming from.
Yeah.
Right? And so, but girls, like, they take everything seriously, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying maybe all girls, some girls are more mature than others. But as you said, that prime age right now, my mom used to say, once the kids leave the house and go into kindergarten, like, it's out of your hands. Like, now they start copycatting.
Yeah.
And the influence is 100%, and hopefully things that you've taught them for those first 5 years of life, they'll start to remember, and then the influence throughout the rest of their growing up age. But it's hard. It's hard to fight the influence.
Yeah. And I found it's hard to find that balance between, you don't want to be so crazy helicopter mom and be, and giving them freedom, even, with TV or healthy eating, whatever it is, the phones, or giving them freedom now. Like, that was one point I really took away from the anxious generation, was the giving them independence, because I was doing okay with the sheltering and not allowing things.
That's easy.
That was fine.
The answer's no again today.
And then once it was, okay, now let them out in the world and go do things, I was like, okay. So I've been trying to do that, though, and it has been good, and it's been baby steps, but I've been trying to, because you don't want to go too far.
Yes, where they don't know what to do once they graduate high school.
And I have even heard that with social media and phones is you maybe want to give it to them when they're an older teenager so that they can learn while they're still in your house, because they can go on it eventually. Like, they need to figure out how to have a healthy relationship with it and all those things. And there's definitely a lot of kids that are doing it right, that I know that are not on it. They spend time with their friends. They're not sitting on it all day. So,
but we're all human. We're all likely to screw up. Nobody's perfect. So try and figure out that happy medium, which is hard.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some of the specifics. These are great magazines. We were talking before we started recording. I'm like, the pages, what are these? And she's like, I picked glossy.
Glossy, 70 pounds.
It is so nice to flip through. And it's just so nice to flip through instead of scrolling.
Yeah.
Right. So this was last month's when she was on the morning show that I was flipping through. But this month's, let's talk about it, is...
Yes, our spring issue, we have our Real Girl Who Rocks is an environmental activist. And then we talk about ways that they can help the earth, which we tried to come at it with some different angles because our girls, they are my co-creative directors. They approve everything. And they're like, Mom, everyone just says don't litter. That's not cool. Like we need to, so we have some more, really getting girls ideas. Like we have composting, which I'm sure like parents are going to be like, thanks, I have to start a compost pile in my backyard now. But so yeah, we have that. We have, we always like to feature like a mental health type of encouraging feature. So we have the power of yet, which is teaching girls, I'm not good at fractions. Add the word yet. I'm not good at fractions yet. And so we have that in there. We have our puzzles, our reading recommendations, some recipes. We have baked donuts, which are delectable and melt in your mouth.
Oh my gosh, yum.
And we have so much fun. Like we make the recipes together. We'll talk about it. We'll be like, should we add lemon? So they have so much fun too. And I think it's been really empowering and encouraging, right, for them to see me doing it. They've been there since the beginning when I first just had the idea and to see every step along the way. And now they're giving it to their friends at school and it's just
Spread
crazy.
the word.
Yeah.
But having them involved and having the girls they're giving you advice of what's going on in the schools and in the friend groups and what's popular and what the girls want to read, because you obviously have to have a foot in the door a little bit, to make them want to pick this up. Now, the newest one is hot off the press, so I have not got to read that one. But as I was preparing for you, I was going through some of this, and you had mentioned self-care is one of them. Mm-hmm. There's a pen pal program. Talk about that. I loved pen paling when I was in grade school.
Yes, I am so excited about this. Yeah. So girls can sign up and be matched with someone. I've been trying to really pair girls with, we have a lot following in Canada and trying to grow it abroad. We have a friend in Spain who I'm trying to reach out to schools across the ocean so it can be really exciting. And that. So it's not just a girl in Cleveland being matched with a girl in like Medina, trying to trying to really
figure it out together. Yeah.
So yeah, girl, and I'm trying to match them with similar ages. So right now, because I really love everything with the magazine, so I'm like matching everybody. Yes. But they get a letter and like a cute little colorful envelope. I could just send an email to the parents and say this is their match, but I really want it to be. I want the kids to have ownership. I want them to get the envelope in the mail and them to have the letter and it to be in their hands to respond. And I'm so excited to help encourage them to be handwriting letters and just those real life connections. And so, all the girls that have been joining have been posting pictures and they're already like, I got my first letter. I'm so excited. Me and my pen pal have so much in common. And it makes me so happy to hear.
No matter how far we get into the digital world, which is a great thing. I think that those kinds of things are still around and meaningful. And my 11-year-old will pen pal grandma. And so for her to see something physically come in the mail for her, that's still a big deal, which was nice to see after all these years.
Yeah, and I feel like it's kind of that safe space. I remember I had a pen pal growing up where they're not in your everyday circle, so you can kind of share things. And, sometimes people are friends for decades. Maybe one day they meet.
I was just about to say that.
I'm like,
what if one day they're best friends in college?
That's my hope for all of them.
that is our hope for this world. Is that we all love each other.
Yeah, I want them to fly over to Spain and see and be like, this is my pen pal I met when I was 10. See? That's what I want to happen.
I am on board with you.
So,
I support that 100%. Texting etiquette. So we do talk about texting and being on phones.
Yeah.
And I can't read half the stuff some people text me, like my niece who's almost 14. I'm like, what are these 4 letters mean or 3 letters? And you got to figure. It's like a puzzle.
Yeah, he's feeling real old with all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'm trying to be realistic and, knowing that, okay, even though part of our mission is helping girls to get off phones and things like that. We know that I think it's like 40% of girls around this age have phones. I think it's under 10 or 40%, and then from there it really jumps up. But so we want to give them advice like that. We have a texting etiquette. We know that they're on phones, so let's just give them advice on how to have those healthy relationships, treat friends kindly. I think at this age it's so easy to
talk about someone behind their back by
and you're
texting.
not realizing how bad things are going to be. So we want to be realistic with it and meet them where they're at, and give them relevant advice.
Yeah. Flipping through the magazine, there's so many fun stuff. Like there's just so much stuff on every page. You get lost, almost like getting lost and, reading a book. This was one of my favorite pages. What is it? It's like random, like
the did you know facts?
The did you know fun facts. Bees need to visit 4 million flowers to make 2 pounds of honey. Who knew?
All the tween readers now know.
They do. Q, by the way, is the only letter that is not in any state names. Bet you didn't know that. Actually, you probably did. Every tongue has a unique print, just like all snowflakes are different.
I thought that was cool, yeah.
Where did you find all this? Like, where do you go?
I research all over. Sometimes I'll think of one, because another thing is, because I have kids, I know a lot of these same facts are like everywhere, and so they'll go, "Oh, Mom, that one's everywhere," or like the word scrambles or the riddles. So sometimes I'll just try to think of one like, how old are ants? And then I'll Google how old.
That's hilarious.
That's in the next one. It's like a queen bee or a queen ant can live to be 30 years. And then I try to put like a little funny thing. So the little ant next to it's like, "You look great, ma'am." So if readers look, there's lots of cute little things like that. Yes. But I try to be creative with them, or like remember things the girls brought up. But I research all of them. I'll try to fact check if I do, find them on, there's lots of children's websites, but
most people can't lick their elbow.
Yeah.
Yes,
Bummer.
if you can, you're special. Last one. Hold on, I like this one. Penguin poops. Penguin poop in parts of Antarctica can be seen from space. They have big poops.
You heard it here first.
That is hilarious. Oh my gosh. So, and then right after that, our recipes.
Yeah.
So are you a cook? Because
I am.
I can't cook.
Yeah.
And this could be a really good start for me.
Yes.
Seriously.
You can start here. You can work with Kindle and be like, "Hey, do you want to make these?"
She
and
loves to cook and
good.
mainly bake.
Yeah.
She loves to bake.
Oh, she'll like the donuts.
Yes.
Then. Yeah. Have you made any of the migas? The migas is one of my favorite recipes. I've been making it for years.
So that's eggs cooked with tortillas?
Yes.
Okay, so how are we putting it together?
Yeah, it's super easy. So you basically just like crumble the chips into the eggs while they're cooking. And then at the end, I add cheddar cheese and onion powder.
That's it?
Yes. But it is so good. The texture, they get soft, and it is amazing. So that's like my go-to recipe.
My kids are not eating eggs anymore. I think we kind of like too
Overdid
much.
it, yeah.
I think we overdid it over the years.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use
But if she makes it herself, she'll probably like it. So
granola balls, all kinds of fun stuff. But also, Mary does a lot of interviewing too, which I am like, wow, because maybe I could use them for some of my podcasts, because the people that you find are really impressive. You talk to somebody from NASA. What I had written it down. Bryn Cartelli.
Yeah.
She was the winner of NBC's The Voice. And you interviewed her. And it's really cool because then later on in the magazine, after the interview that she wrote up, instructions on how to write your own song.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Yeah. We asked her, for those like step-by-step, like, where do you find inspiration? And she is just so kind. She has a new album out. Check it out of the blue. But she is just like the sweetest girl. And so she was super open with us and gave us like all this great advice to share with girls on, where she gets inspiration, how she starts. She talks a lot about journaling and the importance of that. So I feel like she's just a great role model for kids. I tried to find someone. I think we started with the idea of learn how to write your own song as a feature, and then we thought, wouldn't it be cool if we could get a singer-songwriter? So I tried to find someone whose music was, pretty appropriate for kids, which could be a struggle.
Right, I know.
So Bryn is, I think, a really good role model for girls, and so sweet. So yeah, I was so excited.
She gave a few tips too.
Yeah.
Even on how to write.
Yeah, so we had a great interview. It was so hard. I'm finding it's really hard to edit these down because I talk to these amazing people for, an hour-ish, and they give so many great life tips and advice. I'm like taking, I'm using them for myself. And then I have to whittle it down and, make it succinct for girls to keep their attention. And that part is so hard because I'm like, oh, they said so many good things. I just want to share all of it.
What do I want to hear that mom, maybe mom wants to hear, or then what do they want to hear too that would resonate with them, like where they're at right now? Like, pick up a pen and a piece of paper and just start writing some lyrics.
Yeah. And they all give such great advice, like on not being hard on yourself. Like they all were really thoughtful where they were coming from, knowing our readers are kids, and just trying to inspire them. Like, she's like, if it stinks, just write another one. Like a lot of my, you have to come back to it a lot, and talks about struggles. And so I think that that's good for kids to hear too, hearing these successful people sharing their stories of failure and times that they maybe didn't feel the best and how they worked through it, and knowing, it's not easy. They had to work really hard at this.
I mean, if Taylor Swift, obviously very popular with the tween girls, like she didn't just became popular one day. Like these celebrities work at their craft.
Yeah.
And it's all about working and working hard at it. Everybody's like, I just want to be a YouTube star.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm
that's like the number one career choice
what are we
now.
Doing? What happened?
Yeah. That's where I think that balance is hard. It's like we're very much about like the gentle parenting and all these things, and now we're like, wait, we're too gentle. No one is. They don't want to work hard.
Yikes.
So finding that middle ground and getting them to like rise to the challenge and not be so down on themselves if they fail the first time. That's something I know my girls struggle with. So just trying to give them those good role models to talk about things like that.
Yeah, and it's just good ideas throughout the magazine, like subjects and topics to bring up while maybe at school or in a social group or something. You can get involved in this, which I think is super exciting for a magazine that one kid traveled and was able to write his story of like going to China or somewhere. Belize. Yes. China's in the new one that just dropped.
Yeah.
But to Belize, I was like, wow, what a great idea. Yeah. Maybe you could be selected to share your story of your vacation.
Yeah, every issue is going to have a travel story. And I think that's something that's super important for kids to see, is that the world is bigger than just where you live. And I think it is something that has always been important to me. I love traveling and learning about other cultures. And I think it just builds empathy, right, to know about how other people live and their traditions, and viewing things maybe not as strange or weird, but just kind of understanding, that's that custom that they do, or that's what they do when they turn this age, or that we talked about Asian Heritage Month coming up in May, and there's henna and stuff. And even my girls were like, oh, that's what that girl has at school. And it was just an opportunity to talk about, Ramadan or things like that. So I really want, it's kind of twofold, right? It's fun to hear about these other countries, but I'm also trying to like teach the girls about the world and other cultures. So I would say that's kind of how the whole magazine is. It's interesting and fun for kids, but also kind of like sneakily educational. Like maybe they won't know that
it's like putting broccoli into a smoothie with a bunch of strawberries and banana.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, hey girl, here's texting etiquette. Even like how to be a good friend, even though, I call it like bestie goals. So I serve it up in like a fun way, but really I'm trying to like give them, these like informational tips that, aren't as fun to hear from mom to say, here's how you need to be a good friend.
Exactly. They're like, right. So, featured joke. So is that jokes from other people, or are these that you look up?
These
are you
aren't
a joke
me.
teller?
This one's not me. I mean, that's not my bag to come up with those kinds. But girls can send in travel stories. If they traveled abroad, they can send in jokes, recipes, art. So girls, if you come up with a knock-knock joke or a riddle, please send it in. And I like it because then it is original and it's not just me, scouring the internet and researching, trying to find a funny joke. So,
Which I'm sure all the dad jokes would go over well, or not for the tweens, right? And then I love the original art pages.
Yeah.
It has to be original. And your kids are in school doing projects, art projects in class. My kids love art. Like that's their thing. And so if it is, send it and maybe you'll get chosen by the magazine.
Yeah, it's so easy to snap a picture and send it in. And it's so special for them, to see it in print and show their friends. And I know someone's grandma, bought like 10 issues to like celebrate and show everybody and make her feel so cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really exciting for them to be featured in a print magazine. So yeah, they're loving, I feel like a lot of kids really like the art nook.
You're doing a great job. I think this is so fascinating and such a great idea. I think a lot of moms are like, why didn't I think of that? So what are your goals for the future? Yeah. I already said it's going into Target.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and
I've
say
been
that
emailing them, but
answer your emails.
So for now, I do like just having it, the subscription based direct to girls in their mailbox. I hope it keeps growing. Right now, it is all around the country, so it's nice. We have subscribers in California, Seattle. Wow. So it's growing. So I just hope it keeps, people keep telling their friends. Maybe we'll get in some stores, but if not, just we have tweenmag.com that people are visiting and get it straight from there. So
and you will send one once you subscribe. It's every quarter.
Yes.
So it's not a monthly magazine.
Yeah, 4 times a year, every quarter.
Okay.
And we won't make you wait until the next one. If you subscribe now, I won't make you wait until July. So I send I try to send like about once a week-ish to anyone new who joins. Okay. But then we do our big mailings January, April, July, and October.
Okay.
And so
how do you have time for all this research?
I don't know.
The amount of stuff that is in these magazines is just so cool.
It is a lot. Yeah. I just love it. I honestly do. I think it brings together, I like cooking, I like fashion, I like travel. So I really have fun with it, and the girls have fun. So I'm doing it late at night sometimes, but I love it. I can't
when you love your job, right?
Yeah.
When you love your job, it's not a job,
yes.
right?
So
I will link everything. You can subscribe. It's super easy. It's called Tween Mag, and Mary Flenner is the author and co-founder and everything. This is just issue 2, so it's fairly new.
Yep.
And it's already going all around the country. So I predict this is going to be a thing that you will see doctors' offices and what have you, but definitely in your kids' hands. And it's so great. The boys can read it too.
Yes.
There's so much stuff in there for them.
Yeah, the kids are saying that at school actually because we give them to their teachers and everything. And they said, all the boys liked it too. So it makes me happy to hear,
my gosh.
Even my dad who's in his 60s is like, I thought that a lot of this was really interesting.
See, who knew you couldn't lick your elbow?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mary. I appreciate it. Good luck with everything.
Yeah, thank you so much.
We will, I'll link everything and you guys can start subscribing. Give these to your daughters. Thanks, Mary.
Thank you so much.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.